So welcome to the shelter-in-place edition of Teardown Corner. Now, during the pandemic, there's been a lot of interest in disinfecting things using germicidal light. It works a lot better when you're trying to disinfect something that has knobs, switches, and buttons on it that don't do well when they're hosed down with bleach or disinfectant. Now, there's two kinds of germicidal lights. There's the kind that's generated by the low pressure lamp, that's the traditional way. And there's also what they call UVC LEDs that'll generate germicidal light wavelengths up in about the 250 nanometer range. Problem is, a lot of the germicidal light sources that you buy online can be fake. At least there's a lot of talk to that effect. And the difficulty with ascertaining what you got is that the light meters you need to register those wavelengths tend to be a little pricey. Well, fortunately, we've got one that'll work in that range. So we decided to do a little test. We went out and bought at random a conventional low pressure light for UVC, and one that supposedly has UVC range LEDs, and we decided to test them. So let's do that. One good thing about checking for UVC light output is that ordinary fluorescent lights, as we have illuminating this room, don't put out any UVC. So we can check for UVC light without turning off the room lights. So here's our what's supposed to be our conventional low pressure UVC lamp. And we'll turn on our light meter. And we'll turn on our lamp. And you see on our UVC meter that we're getting about 500 microwatts per square centimeter when we hold the lamp about 6 or 8 inches above the sensor. Now, we're not real concerned about exactly how much UVC reading we're getting, because we just want to ascertain whether or not we've got a UVC light, and it does indeed look like our lamp is putting out UVC. Now let's try our UVC source that uses LEDs. It's helpfully labeled UV LED. And you can see here, it actually has two different kinds of LEDs in it. The yellow ones, those are conventional LEDs for conventional light. And these three are what we think are the UVC LEDs. So we'll turn this one on. And it actually is on, but as you can see on our meter reading, if that's putting out UVC, the UVC it's putting out is down in the noise, and it's for our most sensitive scale. Right now, we're max reading on this meter is set to 200 microwatts per square centimeter, and we're really not getting much at all on that scale. And that's unfortunate, because this light set us back about $30. So clearly, if it's putting out any UVC at all, you just spent $30 to get something that really isn't going to disinfect anything. So if this isn't putting out much UVC, you might wonder if it's putting out UV and some other wavelength. Unfortunately, we have a light meter here that'll measure UVA and UVB wavelengths. So we'll give it a try and see if we get anything at in that area. And once again, if you can kind of see our meter reading here, we're not getting much out of it. That's basically noise level. UVA, UVB, they run between 400 and 280 nanometers, and really doesn't seem to be much output at that, much or any output at those levels either. Here we go. A close reading of the owner's manual for our LED light shows why we're getting so little output. Now, this light is actually advertised online as putting out 5 watts, but if you read it closely, the part of the output that's at UVC is only 6/10 of a watt, which we find from our little meter experiment that is so low that you don't get much of a reading at all. So that's very disappointing. So I guess the moral of the story here is if you're going to try and buy a germicidal light online, you probably ought to stick with the conventional low pressure lamp type. If you're buying one online that uses LEDs, it's really a case of buyer beware. Now, I'm going to go try and get our money back for this thing, but meanwhile, you can see more teardown videos like this at eeworldonline.com.